Well, welcome back to Movies Are So Back, the YouTube movie review channel where I, Ethan Simmie, ask the question, are movies so back? I've been pretty outspoken about my thoughts and preemptive disdain for Wicked. Let's just say that. A movie that I think has been insanely overmarketed and has quite honestly turned me off on the entire movie. Now, I went into Wicked knowing absolutely nothing about it. I've never seen the Broadway show. I've never heard a single song. I have zero idea what the narrative is even about. The only thing that I knew about Wicked before seeing the film was that it is somehow connected to Oz and the Wizard of Oz. So I went into this movie predisposed to genuinely not like it, like whatsoever. Now, the thing is that I love musicals. I just do. I don't know what else to tell you. From Umbrellas of Cherbourg to The Young Girls of Rochefort to Grease to La La Land and everything in between. Not you, Wonka.
Brother,
They are my kryptonite. Well, Wicked pulled its little Oz magic on me and I liked it. Yep, I liked it. Now, I didn't love it. No way, no how. I have some seriously massive problems with this movie, but I liked it. Let's start with the bad. And when I say bad, I mean bad. Like bad, bad. The director of this film, John M. Chu, is someone that I'm not particularly familiar with. I've never seen his highly revered cult classic Step Up 3D. I have, however, seen his previous film, To Wicked, titled In the Heights, and I thought it was pretty good. Definitely an underrated movie, if anything. But here's the thing. Wicked looks bad. This movie is so bad in the way that it is lit, in the way that it is colored, like worse than bad. It looks like shit. The lighting is god-awful, and there were even a couple of scenes that had me completely baffled at how they made it through the editing bay and onto the IMAX screen. Just don't understand it whatsoever. Overblown backlighting, just an inability to see the shine and polish and color of Oz, a famously ultra-colored world. It's startling, just genuinely startling. How do you take one of the most colorful IPs ever and not properly light it and not properly color it? How do you bungle the color of Oz? Wicked looks so bad. Now, the second worst aspect of the movie is that it is, in fact, a part one. For some reason, it seems like the marketing has not been very forthright about this information. Kind of akin to when Dune came out. That's the vibes that I'm getting here. It being a part one isn't a huge deal in and of itself. It being a 2 hour and 40-minute part one is the issue. It's like 25 minutes too long, maybe even 35 minutes too long. There are some key inflection points in this movie that seriously stumble in pacing, and while the ending is the most effective part of the movie, it feels like a roller coaster that just keeps going, and the attendant forgot to hit the stop button. It's not super fun, is the easiest way to put this. But I did say I liked this movie, and that is, in fact, a true statement. Because even outside of the unforgivable mistake of the lighting and the coloring, and the nearly unforgivable mistake of it being way too long in a very weak standalone part one movie, it does have some magical moments. Now, this might come across stupid or very uninformed because I genuinely just don't know anything about Wicked outside of this movie, but I thought the narrative surrounding generational guilt, blame, and trauma, along with the power that societal figures can exact on the outcasts of the world, worked. I thought it was really effective, and I thought it was harkened back to enough times throughout the movie to make it a substantial key ingredient to why this movie was good. I'm a parent to 2 young girls, so when the story geared toward how parents impact how children see themselves, I bought right in. The performances are genuinely good too. I'm kind of mad about it because I thought that people were just hyping this movie up, but Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are the real deal in this movie. It's kind of annoying. I'm still pretty out on Ariana Grande as an actress, but she's quite good in Wicked. Cynthia Erivo is what makes this movie work though. It completely falls on her shoulders and she burns the load and turns in a killer performance. There were so many times in the movie while I was watching it where I was just thinking, oh my God, how does this movie look this bad? And then Cynthia Erivo started singing and I was like, oh my God, how can this movie be so magical? I don't want to leave out mentioning Jeff Goldblum, who is honestly really funny, and I think having a lot of fun with this part of The Wizard. I liked him, and I feel no guilt about liking him in this movie. Once scenes from this movie hit YouTube, all bets are off. Trust me, the musical numbers from this are going to make YouTube just implode. I mean, I went into an early screening a day before the official release of the film, and it was packed. People were hooting, they were hollering, they were applauding, they were crying. One woman even stood up at one point in the middle of the film to pump her fist. This movie is a big deal. I fully expect this movie to make $1 billion. Now, I'm recording this video before I have any weekend box office numbers, so I can't gauge what it did in its opening weekend, but I do know that they've already set a re-release date for a sing-along version of Wicked on December 25th, Christmas Day. That is wise movie release strategy. They are going to make $1 billion with this movie. But the real question about Wicked is if this movie will be good enough, or hell, just big enough to make it into the Academy Awards. My answer to that, without a doubt. Here's where I see it picking up nominations. Visual effects, costume design, production design. Ariana Grande will be nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and of course, Best Picture. Will it win any of these awards? Probably not. A lot of these categories are stacked with films like Dune Part 2, Gladiator 2, and other, let's say, just more important films, I think is a good way to put it. Now, if Wicked is looking to take home an Academy Award on the eve of March 2nd, it will be with Ariana Grande and her Best Supporting Actress performance. Truthfully, honestly, I think that is where Wicked is going to have the best shot at taking home a little statue on Hollywood's biggest night. You can't forget that this is a part 1 as well, which kind of just puts it at a disadvantage in the Academy awarding it anything when the second film is already scheduled to be releasing next year. But if and when this movie makes $1 billion, it could shift some of this conversation. I don't think Wicked is a great movie by any means, and it is just barely a good movie, but it still won me over. So Wicked, congratulations. So are movies so back? I mean, yes, the movie's going to make a ton of money, and I mean a ton of money, but it looks like someone took this movie and soaked it in muddy water for 18 months. It's just quite horrendous. It's a commercial musical that is, in every sense of the word, commercialized, that just happened to sprinkle a little bit of its magic and win me over, a guy who was adamant that he would hate it. So again, congratulations, Wicked. I gotta hand it to you. So take that for what it's worth. I did give this movie 4 stars on Letterboxd. I foresee myself lowering that rating whenever I do get around to watching it a second time, if in fact that does ever happen. But for now, 4 stars. Not bad. Remember to like and subscribe. You can also find me on Letterboxd, and I'll see you in the next video.